Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hey Aaron, big fan. I've read nearly all your books. Reconnaissance Man is one of my favorites, and I've visited many of the places you mentioned in the book over the last 2 years. Spearfish, South Dakota is truly a great town. It is. I'm pushing 50 and living the dream. I'm financially independent and haven't needed to work in many years. I spend my time actively pursuing my interests, including art, travel, and endurance cycling. Life is good. Most people are shocked by and envious of my personal freedom, and I can't understand, and they can't understand, why I drive a 15-year-old SUV. In short, all of this has been possible as I am not married, I have no children, and as you might say, I have not fucked up. However, I have lived in New York City and West Los Angeles, but you picked the two of the top 3 most expensive places in the United States for more than 20 years. I'd like to buy a house. You could, if you didn't live there, you could have bought a house anywhere. I've been a bachelor and a renter, recently paying more than $3,200 a month for a 1-bedroom in LA. That obviously has to stop, but I won't buy into the LA or New York City housing markets. The prices are terrifying. I won't become enslaved to a colossal mortgage, not to mention the taxes. This year, my interest in cycling has taken me to Emporia, Kansas. Until now, I never actually set foot in Kansas, but Emporia seems to have a lot of potential. Emporia often makes those economic top 10 lists by people who never lived there, by the way. But on the other hand, also makes the worst of Kansas lists and was lampooned by The Onion. From where I stand, Emporia seems to be a young, active town with a vision for itself and a lot of upside. Cycling is huge there. Real estate is insanely affordable. It's centrally located, a 1.5-day drive to anywhere in the United States. Yeah, except you got to drive across Kansas to get there. And there are 2 local colleges ensuring a steady supply of 20-something poon. For perspective on the Emporia housing market, the $130,000 house I like in Kansas would cost at least $2 million in Los Angeles. My main concerns, boredom in winter. You nailed it, pal. You nailed it. I'd say even distance as well. And Emporia is like still a good hour's drive from Kansas City, so it's not like you just hop on a plane and go. What do you think of Emporia and Kansas in general? I think it's an Emporia choice. No. Do not know. Now, I asked you, I say, well, how are you independently wealthy? Can you travel around? You read Reconnaissance, man. So you wrote, I am technically independently wealthy, and if I play my cards right, I should be for the rest of my life. However, dropping tons of cash living in New York and LA for many years could threaten that. Yeah, you got to move. Even if I worked someday, I could do so just about anywhere. I never experienced the Midwest winter. The closest I've come is New York City winters, which is, we all laugh at the New York City people, like on the East Coast. Oh my God, there's snow! And they don't realize on the national news that no one gives a shit about their pathetic little small dick snowstorms that they get. It's happening to us here in New York. Oh my God, we have to tell the whole world. No, it's like, no, you that's not a storm. You're just weak. Which I absolutely hate. I travel a lot. My assumption is that if I moved to the Midwest, I would just be gone January through March. For that reason, I consider Las Vegas, which I like, in Arizona. I'll take a video response, as I'm interested in what people might have to say in the YouTube comments section about Emporia. Yeah, if there's anyone in Emporia, Kansas, let them know. Please don't use my name. I won't. Here's just the old captain's take. You're used to living near a major metro, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. And then you're going to go to this small little, what to you is going to be a dinky town. It's actually not a small town. You want to see small towns, go look up 10 Sleep, Wyoming. That's a small town. And I'm afraid there's not going to be enough for you. On top of it, there's a reason the property's cheap. No one really wants to live there. You're in the worst strategic, well, maybe not the worst strategic place, but man, you're in the Plains state, and they suck. And yeah, your winters are going to be brutal. Not as bad as Minnesota, but they're going to be way worse than New York City. And then I think you're going to get bored. You're going to get bored ASAP, especially if you're a cyclist. What do you get? Unless you like flat, boring shit, I wouldn't be going to Kansas at all. And this is not to besmirch people in Kansas or the small town life, but I think there are some things you've become accustomed to unconsciously without knowing it. And so once that's gone, I mean, this isn't like you go find good Asian food or good Vietnamese food. This isn't like the places are open 24/7. I mean, the town will shut down by 7 p.m. I don't know, may even have dry counties in Kansas for all I know. And then you're traveling. You're in the middle. I think you're very close to being dead center to the United States epicenter. I know you say you're only a day and a half from it. You're a day and a half from everything. I would strongly recommend you don't buy there right now. I strongly recommend that now that you're independently wealthy, you spend some of your time doing reconnaissance. You've read the book. You know the places I've picked out, and I recommend. But start in Las Vegas. That's affordable housing. I'd also look at Denver. Drawbacks there is that they have state income taxes. And depending on where you are in Denver, it can be expensive. You could also try other towns within Colorado. Nothing wrong with it. Grand Junction is very nice. I like Grand Junction. Colorado Springs is kind of a pit, but it's not Denver. It's not as expensive. What else? You may want to. A lot of people don't. I don't like Reno. A lot of people like Reno. I'd recommend you buy a property in Sparks, which is a suburb of Reno. Try that. Salt Lake City, go where there's like mountains and stuff. Phoenix is another good one that you might want to try. Of course, there's state income taxes there. If you want to avoid winter, you can't be doing Idaho or Montana, but maybe Spokane, Washington State. They don't have state income taxes. I would just look. The main problem I have with you going to Emporia is not only is it in the Plain States, it's on the eastern side. You're going to have to haul ass all the way across Kansas, which is a long end. And it's not like you get to the Colorado border and then the mountains are there. You got to haul another 150 miles to get to the mountains where the cool shit is. And you as a cyclist, I think, would probably really like to be near the mountain. Sturgis, Spearfish, that whole corridor, Rapid City, South Dakota, that's fine. Keep in mind it is somewhat of a secluded area. And you're going to have kind of the same small town feel. Not for everybody. Very far away from everything. Flights are very expensive into Rapid City. I would avoid Wyoming with all your heart. Don't even go there. Winters are going to be brutal though in South Dakota. They'll be very bad. So I'd be looking at your Denvers. Albuquerque, New Mexico is something to consider. Maybe Santa Fe is going to be pricey as hell. Never mind. Flagstaff. There's not a lot of towns because it is sparsely populated. You just look at the interstates, you'll see the handful of towns that pop up that you can consider living in. But I would not. No. And if you want to get girls, you need a bigger population than that. I know there's 2 colleges there, but no. Just you need to go and travel a little bit more and check out some different places. And if you really, really, really want to try Emporia, Kansas, you know what? I strongly recommend you get a 3-month rental or an Airbnb for 3 months, whatever cheap living you can afford. See if you can tolerate the mendacity or mundacity, the repetition, the Groundhog Day, because I don't see that town. I don't even remember driving through it, and I've driven through it. I've driven from Kansas City to Topeka, Wichita, whatever's on the way. I looked it up. I'm like, well, I've driven through it. I don't remember it. But I wouldn't strongly advise against it, but I strongly recommend that you do some more research and try other towns. And before you settle down, you spend at least a month there. At least a month to see whether you like it. And do it during winter. Like, what the hell? Do it during January and see if you can handle it. All right, that's it. You guys got questions? Cappy's got answers over at assholeconsulting.com. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.